join me. Let's do some art. I picked up this book from a thrift store. It's nice and thick, has a good sturdy cover, and I will use this one for our altered book project. So I already marked a little window here in the front, and I will cut it out from the cover, but I will go deeper as well. I will cut out the pages, and I won't show you the whole process. It's easily done, but it is quite messy. And at the end, I had to adjust the sides just a bit because it is really easy to go a little bit crooked. But I worked on it for a while with my X-Acto knife and my scissors, and it all came out to my satisfaction. I definitely found it easier to cut the book before it's all glued together. First of all, my blade is not very long, so this way I can cut a few pages at a time. Also, needing to make some adjustments, it was way easier to do that to the pages before they're all glued together. But now, of course, I will add some Mod Podge to the cavity, especially the sides, and then also to the outside edges of the pages. And that will hold it all together really well. There's really no need to glue the individual pages. As you can see here, it's nice and sturdy. And next I am preparing the small metal frame. I am adding this white mesh with my E6000. It's actually the stuff you use under carpets. Now, aside from the frame, I also want to use this drawer handle. I really like the shape and that it has a movable handle. And I mark where the two stubs go because this is supposed to go through wood, and I couldn't get rid of those stubs, so I drilled some holes instead. I added some E6000, and now it just needs to dry in place. Next, I add a little bit of black just to a few spots which I know will be visible after I'm done decorating these two pages. And for that, I used some origami paper I had laying around for way too long. But these have a nice vintage design of some stationery. Now, they're not quite large enough to cover this all in one piece, but I used some of the leftover bits to mask the seam, and I think it came out pretty well. So I used Mod Podge for this, and while you're watching me fiddle around with the papers, I want to say that this is, of course, my 4-core art challenge video, and that means that later on you will see the lineup of all of your wonderful projects, and then at the end of the video I will also give you the new challenge for the month of February. Now, whenever I create one of these 4-core videos, I start by preparing 3 separate videos for the 3 main parts. And by the time I did the voiceover on this one, the one where I usually explain little tidbits, the one for the new challenge, was already completed. So I want to mention something here that has to do with our future challenges. Now, I'm always happy to receive plenty of photos from all of you. I love to see your project from all angles. I love to discuss it. I like to chat with you about it. But of course, when I have to put it in the lineup, I have to decide which photo to use. And that's not always an easy choice. Also, if I want to use more than one photo, I have to make a little collage. That also takes me quite some time. So I'm wondering if you could help me out with this point by either marking very clearly which photo you would like me to use, or by sending me a ready-made collage. Making a collage is actually very simple. Most computers have a photo editor. You can download one, and the program will walk you through it. It's all quite simple and goes quickly if you only do one collage. And of course, the advantage is that you can use just the right photos, the right angle, the right size, and I believe you will do a much better job creating just the right photo collage for your project. Now, if you have any trouble with this, please let me know. I will be very happy to point you in the right direction. But even if you rather not do a collage, one nice big photo will suffice for our lineup, just like we did in the earlier challenges. Now, at some point, I may have to do a sequel or a whole new intro to our challenges where I include these details, but I'm not sure when I get around to it, so I thought I'd mention it here so we can get started on it. Alright, enough of that. Back to my project. In the meantime, I used my gel medium to attach more of this white mesh. I am also using some texture paste all over, and I added one of those big fat craft sticks to the spine. Now I think this is a good time to turn you over to some music. Like always, you will find all my mediums or anything you need to know in the captions, and I will talk to you in just a wee bit. Enjoy. And then my footage got bad. My big head was in the way and you couldn't see anything. This was a tiny place to work in, but I just glued things down. I used a metal bead as a vase, added some flowers. There is an owl charm in the back, a key and lock and dangle in the front, a tiny canvas, and I hope you can see this, an artist's palette. There's a violin, a cup, and a bottle. And then here on the bottom I added some wood inside the fireplace as well as on one side and a metal shoe to the other side. So I'm finally done, and here is my completed altered book with the new improved window. Lots of texture. I like the color. I named it 0 degrees Celsius, which is freezing and fits very well to the winter theme. I gave it a closure of a clip, a little metal leaf and dangle, and then the chain I attached to the back just by screwing it in. And the back got a little bit of varnish just to preserve it, and a little bit more of the distress ink on the edges as well to make them a little darker. So I did change the window because I did not like the way the colors came out on the other one, and I'm very happy with this one. So there are my washers I added, and then all these details which I showed to you earlier. Now the reason I picked a fireplace is of course to make it fit into our winter idea, because winter is not only happening outdoors, also indoors. And what's nicer than sitting by a nice warm fireplace? Now, if I was better with electrical things, I would have loved to put a little light into the fireplace, and I may yet do that in the future if I can figure out how to. So I could put a hanger here on the back and hang it on the wall like this, or I could display it standing up. I haven't decided yet which I like better. Anyway, I had fun with this project. I love the colors that brighten up the overall look of it, and of course all those little details. But now to all of your wonderful projects, here is the lineup. Enjoy. So it is time for our new 4-core art challenge for this month, for the month of February. Of course, before I start, I want to give a big thank you to all of you artists who participated in last month's challenge. I was so happy to see all of your pictures arriving in my email, as I was a wee bit worried that maybe some had forgotten about it because I took such a long break. But no, all of you came through. We had a nice lineup of wonderful projects and ideas, and I thank you so much. And of course, I hope that you will join in again in this month's challenge. Now, if you're new to these challenges, please just go below in my description box, follow the link to my intro video, and that will get you up to date. So for this month's challenge, I again picked a theme. I think this will be lots of fun, slightly challenging, but also giving you the opportunity to dig very deep into your imagination and your fantasy. This is definitely not a project based on reality. So we will all create a hybrid. Now, you are familiar with the term, and I could explain it to you in my own words, but I thought I'd pull it up here on the dictionary. So a hybrid is a thing made by combining two different elements, a mixture. Of course, we are used to hybrids when we think about cars, certain animals, a mule, and those kind of things. But of course, we don't have to stick with those concepts. We can go much broader, and you're welcome to work either 2 or 3-dimensional. So you could do a painting, you could do a collage. Now, a collage is of course perfect for this type of project because you can easily combine different images and create a new identity. But of course, you can also paint the whole concept right out of your imagination. Now, I do want to show you just a few ideas or examples if you work with images. And of course, it will also give you some ideas if you work 3-dimensional or if you would make a painting or anything along those lines. So I pulled out just some animals, of course, that come to mind. You can use things from magazines. I have some die cuts. You can use napkins. This is a sticker and those kind of things. So for instance, here that's a rooster. You could give it a rabbit head. Of course, your new creation would live on a background within other elements. You can add whatever you like. You can use whatever medium you want to add, texture or no texture, however you like it. Now we have wings on this butterfly. It could be part of an elephant, and you can create a new creature and so on. I have a tail of a whale. That could always be a nice addition to some other animal or some other thing. It could be organic or not. Like I said earlier, we are all familiar with hybrids in nature, but of course you can let your imagination go. We can do mechanical hybrids, we can do architectural hybrids, whatever you can come up with. There are legs, of course we can add human features, either legs to something that usually doesn't have legs, heads to something, excuse me. I also have just things. There's a drum, there's a camera, there is a typewriter here, there's a house. Now if you work with a house, either paint it or draw it, you will already have some of the features which will be part of some of the other 4-core elements. So here is the clock. There is a binocular, and this is actually an example of a hybrid picture. It's an old vintage one, and as you can see, somebody gave the second lady tentacles. So this is pretty cool. Now, of course, it's a bit scary. You absolutely don't have to go into the scary, but it's just a good example of a hybrid. So those would be some elements you could use. As I said, there is no end to your imagination. Look around at what you have laying around in a way of paper. If you work 2-dimensional or in a way of odds and ends, maybe you have things from the kitchen or in your workshop or in the garage, some old stuff that is ready to be given a new life, and you can combine it, create a sculpture, create an assemblage, whatever you like. As long as we can still see what the basic shapes or elements were that you combined. And of course, you can add as much as you want to make it complete. So this is all under point number 1, because I wanted to explain the hybrid term just a little more and give you some ideas of the materials. Now number 2 would be, in our creation, be it 2 or 3 dimensional, we will add either a door or window or both. That's up to you. So I have some die cuts of doors and windows. There is a greeting card with a door. You could, of course, paint a door and just add a doorknob, but somewhere should be a door or window. It does not have to be exactly part of your hybrid. It could be in the background. And remember, doors and windows don't have to only be in houses. They could be on all kinds of things. So that's part number 2. And part number 3 is to add or hide a key. So adding a key, yes, but not so obvious. So it should be visible, but not so easy to see. So we have to look for it a little bit. Of course, if you work 2-dimensional, you may just draw a key or cut a key out from some paper design. Or if you work 3-dimensional, you want to use an actual key. It could be rather small, so it's not so easy to see. Or you could make it bigger but more hidden. You can paint it so we can see it as well, but we should still be able to find it. So the third part would be to add a key in some shape or form somewhere in your creation. And then number 4 is just to name it, because when we create a hybrid, we really create a new something, an identity, a new machine, a new invention, so to speak. So you should give it a name, and it can be whatever you like to call it. You can include that name within your creation, or you can make a label like we often did before. I just made this one. It says Balloonosaurus. The reason I picked that one, it was the first thing that came to mind. I used to make animal balloons for kids, and the dinosaur I used to call him Balloonosaurus. So that's kind of a hybrid name, but you can think of anything you like. So you could either put it on a label and just take a photo with the label next to your creation. Make sure it's big enough so we can read it. Or you could include it in your creation, either on your painting or collage or your 3-dimensional, whatever you may make. So that's it. I think this sounds like something very interesting to work on. I hope you agree, and I hope you will all play along. So we will create a hybrid, either 2 or 3-dimensional, painting, collage, anything you like, sculpture, assemblage, and everything so in between. We will add a window or a door or both, big or small, wherever you want it. We will add a key, again, 2 or 3-dimensional, big or small. Make sure it's visible but not so obvious. So we have to look for it a little bit. And then number 4, please label your creation. Make sure we can read it well. And so that's it for the February challenge. Like always, you have the whole month to work on it. Just make sure that your photos will land in my email before the month is up. Now, if you have any questions, please, you can ask me below in the comments or in my email. I'm always happy to chat with you. For your convenience, of course, I listed all the elements of the 4-core challenge for this month at the end of the video and below in my description box. But before I go, I want to mention one more thing, and that is that, of course, if you are a video creator and you made a video for the challenge, you can send me your link, and we've done that in the past. But now, if you even just have a YouTube channel, if you have a blog, if you have a Facebook page, if you have a shop, any kind of link you would like to share with everybody else here on my channel, you may send me those links along with your photo, and I will list them and post them below my video in the description box. But please send them to me every time you want me to post it, every time you participate. It won't happen automatically, meaning I won't go back and find your information for every 4-core video. Only if you participate, you send me a photo, and you again send me the links you would like me to list. So that's a little new addition, and I hope it will help all of you artists out there. And that's it. That's all I had for today. Thank you so very much for coming. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please do play along, and stay safe, stay well, stay creative, and I see you really soon. Bye bye for now.